Imagine you are taking a lovely, peaceful afternoon stroll in your neighborhood. The sun is shining, the weather is perfect, and you are feeling completely fine, enjoying the fresh air. Suddenly, a neighbor calls out your name from across the street, or perhaps you hear the sudden sound of a bicycle bell approaching quickly from behind. Without even thinking, you do what you have done a million times before throughout your life. You turn your head to look, but this time something deeply unsettling happens. The sidewalk seems to tilt briefly beneath your feet. A sudden wave of dizziness washes over you, your knees momentarily feel weak, and you have to scramble to grab onto a nearby fence, or you instinctively freeze and widen your stance just to avoid tumbling to the concrete. For a terrifying split second, you feel completely out of control of your own body. If this scenario sounds familiar, please take a deep breath and know right now that you are not alone, you are not broken, and most importantly, you are not losing your independence. This sudden loss of balance when turning your head while moving is one of the most common yet least talked about experiences for those of us over the age of 65. Today, we are going to have a calm, comforting conversation about exactly why this happens, and I promise you, there is absolutely nothing to be afraid of. We are not going to use confusing medical jargon, and we certainly aren't going to recommend any exhausting or extreme fitness routines. Instead, we are going to look at the beautifully simple science of how your body balances itself, and I am going to share with you one incredibly gentle, remarkably simple daily practice that will help you rebuild your confidence, prevent devastating falls, and keep you walking safely and independently for years to come. To truly understand how to fix this, we first need to understand the magnificent, yet delicate, system that keeps you standing upright. Think of your body's balance system like a highly coordinated orchestra, with your brain acting as the master conductor. Conductors are on three main groups of musicians to play in perfect harmony: your eyes, the sensory nerves in your feet and joints, and a tiny fascinating structure hidden deep inside your inner ear called the vestibular system. Your inner ear contains tiny canals filled with fluid, and every single time you move your head, that fluid swishes around, bending microscopic hairs that send instant electrical signals to your brain, telling it exactly where you are in space. When you are in your 30s or 40s, this system is lightning fast. You can walk, turn your head, look up at a bird, and look back down at the sidewalk, and the fluid in your ears, your vision, and your feet all send perfectly synchronized messages to your brain. But as we beautifully age, a few completely normal changes occur. The fluid in the inner ear can become just a little bit thicker, the tiny hairs become slightly less sensitive, and the nerve signals travel just a fraction of a second slower. Under normal circumstances, like when you are sitting in a chair or walking perfectly straight while looking straight ahead, your brain easily compensates for this tiny delay. It relies more heavily on your eyes and the solid feeling of the ground beneath your feet. However, the exact moment when you saw I turn your inside, you are temporarily taking away your stable visual focus, while simultaneously swishing that inner ear fluid around. Suddenly, the conductor, your brain, receives a slightly delayed, mismatched set of signals. Your eyes say one thing, your inner ear says another, and your feet are confused. That momentary confusion is exactly what causes that terrifying feeling of dizziness, the stumble, or the sudden need to freeze. What usually happens next is where the real danger lies, and it is a completely natural psychological reaction. Because that stumble was so frightening, your brain subconsciously decides that turning your head while walking is dangerous. So without even realizing it, you stop doing it. You start walking on stiffly, looking straight ahead. If someone calls your name, instead of naturally turning your neck, you stop completely and pivot your entire body like a robot. You might stop looking at the beautiful architecture on your walks, or avoid walking in busy environments altogether. You begin to shrink your world to avoid the fear of falling. But here is the profound truth that we must embrace. By avoiding the movement, we are actually making the problem significantly worse. Your balance system is exactly like a muscle. If you do not use it, you lose it. When you stop practicing the natural motion of turning your head while moving, those pathways between your inner ear and your brain become even slower and more rusty. The real risk to your independence isn't the age process itself. It is the natural habit of avoiding movements that feel a little unsteady. To keep you out of a wheelchair, to keep you confidently navigating grocery store aisles, parks, and family gatherings, we simply need to gently wake that system back up. We need to retune the orchestra. The wonderful news is that your brain is incredibly adaptable, regardless of whether you are 65, 75, or 85. You can absolutely retrain your balance system to handle head turns smoothly again, and you do not need a gym membership, heavy weights, or complex equipment to do it. All you need is a few minutes a day and a commitment to a simple, gentle practice that I like to call the look and stroll progression. We are going to break this down into 3 incredibly safe, easy steps that you can start right in the comfort of your own home today. Step 1 begins where you are perfectly safe, sitting down. I want you to sit comfortably in a sturdy chair with your feet flat on the floor. Look straight ahead at a spot on the wall. Now slowly and gently, turn your head to look over your right shoulder, hold it for just 1 second, and gently bring it back to the center. Then, smoothly turn your head to look over your left shoulder, hold for a second, and bring it back. Do this 5 times in each direction. You are not pushing through pain, you are just letting your neck move. By doing this while sitting, you are safely sloshing that inner ear fluid and giving your brain a chance to process the signals without the fear of falling. It is a gentle reintroduction to movement once you feel completely comfortable with the seated turns. Perhaps after a few days of practicing, you will naturally progress to step 2. For this step, I want you to stand at your kitchen counter. Lightly rest both of your hands on the countertop for solid support. Your feet should be shoulder width apart. Now, just as you did in the chair, slowly turn your head to the right, look at the wall, and bring it back to center. Then look to the left and bring it back. Because you are standing, your brain now has to coordinate the signals from your neck with the balance sensors in your ankles and feet. If you feel a tiny bit of a sway, that is completely okay. That is simply your nervous system learning and adapting. Your hands are right there on the counter to keep you perfectly safe. Practice this gentle standing head turn for just 1 a day while your morning coffee is brewing. Finally, when the counter exercises feel easy and boring, you are ready for step 3, the ultimate key to walking independence. Find a clear, well-lit hallway in your home. Stand at one end. Begin walking at your normal, comfortable pace. After taking 3 normal steps, I want you to gently turn your head to the right, as if you are looking at a picture on the wall. Keep walking for 2 more steps while looking right. Then turn your head back to the center. Walk 3 more steps looking straight, then gently turn your head to the left for 2 steps and bring it back to center. You are essentially practicing the exact real-world scenario that caused the fear in the first place, but you are doing it in a controlled, safe, familiar environment. You are actively teaching your brain, your eyes, and your inner ear how to process movement and head rotation simultaneously again. This simple daily commitment changes everything. It is not about building massive leg muscles or achieving extreme fitness. It is about protecting your freedom. When you gently retrain your balance system, you are no longer a prisoner to the fear of a sudden stumble. You can confidently walk through a crowded farmer's market, naturally turning to look at the fresh produce. You can walk alongside your grandchildren in the park, turning your head to listen to their stories without breaking your stride. You replace fear with undeniable confidence. Remember, a little bit of rust in our balance system is just a normal part of a life well lived, but we do not have to accept a loss of independence as an inevitable conclusion. By taking just 5 minutes a day to practice these gentle head turns, you are actively choosing to protect your mobility, secure your safety, and confidently step forward into your best years. Keep moving gently, stay perfectly safe, and always remember that true health is about having the freedom to live your life exactly how you want